Good morning to you. Weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on the YouTube channel. We're on the smart TV. If you're at home and you want to stick us on, good morning. It's Shebahn Aherne and former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines. Has you right? Got the winner for Championship leaders Coventry City. They beat Midlands rivals Leicester 2-1 at the CBS Arena. Nigeria also beat Egypt in a shootout to claim third place at the 2025 African Cup of Nations following a goalless draw. And Liverpool only managed a 1-1 draw at Anfield versus 19th place Burnley. By the way, it's 2026. Realised I was stuck in the past there. Liverpool only managed a 1-0 draw at Anfield versus 19th place Burnley. After the game, Arne Slot told talkSPORT his team have dropped too many points this season.
I assume that the fans are also not happy with the amount of points that we've dropped from either winning positions or games we should have won or deserved to win. I don't think we stole a lot of points this season, but we let ourselves down in multiple occasions where the performance was better than the result was. But yeah, the only ones to blame is ourselves. And like I said, today against a team that defended low, which is of course I would do if I were in their position as well. But we were able to create much more than we usually should do. But yeah, it's hard to be positive if we had a draw at home against the promoted side, Burnley.
Not good enough, Cass.
No, I didn't see the game. I've only seen the highlights. It's a continuation of a very difficult season that Arne Slot is finding it very hard to get results. And early on in the season they got over the line late in games. Now they can't do that. And it's been a really tough season so far for Liverpool, even though Liverpool are still fourth in the table, just in front of Man United. And it is just. Look, that fourth place, and I've said all season, Liverpool are not going to be fighting for the title this year. And I still stand by that. And obviously it's easy now because they're quite a long way behind Arsenal and Man City. So there's a big gap after the top three, isn't there? Yeah. You go from Villa and below, there's going to be a real scramble for that fourth spot.
Yeah, not a good enough performance from Liverpool yesterday against Burnley. 03717 223344 is the number to have your say this morning. We're talking Thomas Frank at Spurs in just a moment. He's under pressure there after defeat against West Ham. But also Crystal Palace. I mean, what Glasner said yesterday in that post-match press conference, he really gave it to the board, handed them their backside, saying that he felt unsupported. His heart's been ripped out a couple of times. Surely that's it. Good morning to Michael, the Palace fan. Michael, good morning to you. Where do you see it going from here?
Well, personally, Cascarino's almost 100% correct. First of all, the board is never going to back someone who's going to said they're leaving in last October. But the board really have never invested money previously to any manager. Look at obviously Elise, Zaha, Klein, Wan-Bissaka, Moses, all sold for big money and rarely invested. But saying that, Glasner has never truly used any substitution, never trained with them that much, never wanted to use them, never wanted to include them in the team. He's just used and burnt out the same 12 or 13 players all the time, and he's signed his own fate. Don't fire him, don't give him the money, put him on gardening leave and let him wallow. So, really.
Michael, it's a strange ending, isn't it? As in, FA Cup winners, an incredible season, had some really good performances, and yet it's ending because obviously we don't know the final outcome, but I think it's pretty clear. He's said enough now that's really left him in a position there's nowhere to turn for the football club. And I totally agree with you that what you said with Steve Parish has to take some responsibility because they've been redundant in the transfer market generally over the decades, I always feel with. You saw all the other Premier League clubs spending, investing, and Palace have always been incredibly prudent.
Yeah, we've always been a feeder team. We're not going to be ones who's going to spend out of our means. As I say, we've always sold good players for a high price, but never only spent a tiny portion on reinvesting and found young talent. That's how it's always been. That's probably how it always will be.
Michael, thank you so much for your call this morning. We appreciate it. I hear you. But as Michael said there, we've never been a board to really back managers. But the difference is this one won you a trophy.
Yeah.
So maybe he's looking and going, hold on a minute, I've just changed the trajectory of this club. You know, yes, he's had a good squad of players there. Yes, another manager might have been able to do it. But if you ain't backing me, I'm not signing your contract.
So, okay, my counter to that, Shebahn, would be if the manager goes and says, look, you're making it impossible for me.
Yeah.
If I can't buy players and I will sign a contract, but you've got to give me commitment. You've got to back me in the transfer market to make this club an improved team.
Yeah.
If he went to the board and said that, I would find that amazing if Steve Parish didn't say, okay, right, we'll have this to spend. We'll let you be in charge most of it, work with our recruitment team, and we'll help you as much as we can to try and find the best Palace team we've ever had. Okay? That hasn't happened. It's more of a case that Glasner's just ranted about what he's not had. It'd be interesting because my immediate for fault. We have our own Simon Jordan here, who talks brilliantly about lots of different stuff. He's been a chairman. He's been a chairman of Crystal Palace. Love to know how he would have handled Oliver Glasner.
Yeah. Can we get Simon on the phone?
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he says too much that obviously, rubs people's noses in it. Just makes it hard for him. I'm not saying Steve Parish is this incredible chairman at all. What I'm saying is that couldn't there have been a middle ground somewhere where Steve Parish tries to convince him? He may have well done. But from what we've seen, Palace have been a club that have not spent nowhere near enough over the years. I mean, communication's obviously gone off somewhere. Glasner spoke about in training, heading into the weekend's game. They had everything prepared with Mark Gahey being a part of it, and then he's told actually he's not. I mean, communication's obviously miles off it. If the manager's not been told this information, he can only work with what he's got. If you're taking your best player from him on match day -1, I'd be looking and going, do you know what? Shove it. Sorry, excuse me. I'd be looking and going, what do you want me to do? Work miracles. So I can kind of see if you don't know the truth, you don't know what's going on. Well, you're trying to give the benefit of the doubt to the manager as well.
But I brilliant manager.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a basket case. Listen, great chat all the same. 03717 223344 is the number. Thomas Frank under pressure as well. Another loss for him against West Ham yesterday. He was asked after the game if he's the right man to turn it around at Spurs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There was such a good energy in this week with both Connor coming in, John coming in. The boys trained very well. I think you can see in the team they really fight for each other and for the club. They do put everything in there. We just need to keep going forward. I think it was very clear also with Vinay's letter that there's a lot of things and changes going in the right direction. We are in transitional season with a supertanker. We're turning around. We still need to win more football matches. We still need to work unbelievable hard to win more games, and we will do that.
He seems to have said all the right things about his board.
And I'm a fan of Thomas Frank, as in what he achieved at Brentford was extraordinary, and he deserved the opportunity. But that doesn't mean that his future is, it has to be in doubt. It has to be, because they've had a really poor season. They've lost a number of games at home. They're on 3 defeats in a row. And he's really finding it tricky to, and losing to a team that's a London rival at home, who are, literally third and bottom in the league.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest points that goes against any manager is if your faithful crowd lose faith in you, and that feels like that's happening at Spurs, and it's been happening and growing, and once they lose faith in their manager, Shebahn, it's a really tough one to turn.
Well, somebody who lost faith, I think a little while ago, because I spoke to him on Friday about it, his podcaster and Inside Spurs co-host Sonny Snelling. Good morning, Sonny. Is this the final nail in the coffin, or are you standing by Thomas Frank?
I just think now, Shebahn, good morning,
Good morning.
Shebahn Tony, by the way.
Sonny, yeah.
Hope you're well, because I'm not. I just think it's untenable. It's really untenable for Thomas Frank, because I was just looking at the Premier League table. You just got to look at the teams in and around Spurs. Bournemouth, we've lost to twice. Leeds, narrow win. Forest lost 3-0 drubbing at the City ground. West Ham lost. Burnley we beat first day of the season. And Wolves, we gave them their first point. To me, Thomas Frank isn't the problem, but he's not the solution. I feel like the whole club is a complete mess, even after Daniel Levy's departure. And we sit in now, another manager, another thing that hasn't worked. We tried Conte, Nuno, Jose Mourinho. It's just, we pay a lot of money to go over to that stadium. I said this on Friday to you, Shebahn, and you said to me, Karma will get you, Sonny. I think it's getting me good and proper. That's what I've got to say about that.
Sonny, it's a really hard one to try and defend Thomas Frank when you're losing games. And I said there that if you lose the faithful and, okay, the booing, he knows it's tough times. I just don't know if I can see a way out for Thomas Frank at the moment, because unless if he survives this week, which might be, a stretcher even in what's happened yesterday, but you've got European games coming up. You've got Borussia Dortmund. You've got, I think, Eintracht Frankfurt as well, haven't you? Is it Eintracht Frankfurt and Burnley? So it's a really important period. If he can get something in the European Cup that just is a positive, I don't even know if he'll get there.
Also,
I just don't see.
Sorry, go on.
I don't see where next win's coming from. It's like our February run of fixtures. We've got Arsenal in there. It just looks, it's scary. It's one of those things where people keep going, oh, you won't get relegated, and maybe we won't because there might be 3 worse teams. But as I've just listed those teams off there, they could get points against us. Look at Burnley yesterday against Liverpool. They are fighting for their lives. And at the moment, it takes 45 minutes for us to wake up. We're going through the motions. There's no fight. There's no grit, no determination, even at home, which you think in front of these fans who, don't get me wrong, they're not bringing the atmosphere at the moment, but there's nothing to bring an atmosphere because the football is so dire and turgid. Yesterday, he has the audacity to come out and say, well, it could have ended 2-1. We had one Xavi Simons shot that I think Areola saved quite well. But apart from that, we don't seem to, when it went 1-1, go into the ascendancy and look to win these games. And then Callum Wilson, who I thought was leaving. I thought he was basically...
He's going up to Celtic, isn't it?
And he comes on, nearly scores with his first touch. And then, that pay-to-play contract might be getting a few more zeros on the end.
Yeah. Just a quick one as well. Conor Gallagher, how do you think he done yesterday? I didn't see the game. I've only seen the highlights. So, Sonny, tell us what you thought of, as the signing and how he settled in.
I'll be honest, chaotic is what I'd say into that midfield. I think he struggled in parts. His passing wasn't as good. I know he hasn't really played too much for Atletico Madrid this season. I think it'll be a good signing long term. But at the moment, you could list off a handful of names. Kudus hasn't been used properly. Bergval's been misprofiled. I think Thomas Frank has yet again convinced someone to come to the club who I don't know how he wants to use him, and it's such a shame.
Like you say, big week coming up for them, but Kulusevski likely to be back at the end of this month. He's a player that you could really use, and Thomas Frank can maybe benefit from having back and available. But listen, you sack managers who win you trophies, so good luck for what's next, okay, Sonny?
I've got it. You said karma's come to me, Shebahn, hasn't it? It is.
I did love Sonny yesterday. I was thinking of the name of the derby, what West Ham could be in Tottenham, and I thought it's the disgruntled fan-based derby.
More protests in London than ever, is it?
I know.
Palace, Chelsea.
Sonny, we love you. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Sonny.
Keep us posted when you hear anything. Sonny Snellen there from Inside Spurs, part of the...
It's mad football at the moment, Shebahn, isn't it? How much is happening? How many disgruntled fans there are at clubs? You look at Leeds, who have got a great result yesterday, and you look at how Sunderland have done and Villa have done. But it's a lot of negative stuff coming out from even the top clubs at the top. Yeah,
you can send us your messages, 81089 03717 223344. After his press conference yesterday, does Thomas Frank hang on? He believes he's got the backing of the board. As for Palace, is it Oliver Glasner time up after his outburst towards the board, saying his heart has been ripped out? You're listening to Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll get into the Sunday morning newspapers.